Okay, everybody. So I went on a little bit of a book haul. Actually, I didn't go on a book haul. These were all gifted to me for my birthday. Not too bad, hey? Anyway, I want to talk to you guys about it. Let's get right into it. So first book we got. This was on Obama's. I don't know if it was on his reading list. He did release a recommendation on Twitter, I guess, or sorry, X. It's called "Our Hidden Conversations: What Americans Really Think About Race and Identity," and it's written by Michele Norris, the creator of the Race Card Project. It's kind of in a textbook format. It seems fairly well illustrated and kind of more of a funky layout. Yeah, definitely textbook vibes I'm getting off this. And I think it would be great for Black History Month. In fact, that's why I sort of had this on my Amazon list. I don't know. I haven't really heard too much else about this book. It's I don't think it's going to be terribly hard to get through. It's let me see here. This is published. Yeah, this is published in 2024, so it's about a month old, not even. And you've got, maybe 460 some pages here. If you guys have read this, I'd certainly like to hear your thoughts on it, and hopefully we can talk a little bit more about it towards the end of the month in the wrap up. This is another one that appeared on one of Obama's lists. It's called The Wager by David Grann. He's the author of Killers of the Flower Moon, which I think this was a New York Times bestseller as well. Both of these, I think, attained that status. A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder. Now, I think this is, at least from what I've heard of it, it's a true story, or at least it's based on a true story. I think it's kind of like a novelized sort of retelling of it, if you will. I could be completely off base, but that's just the press that I have consumed. That's sort of the idea I get from this. I just love the cover on this. The cover artist, whoever put that together for you, David Grann, man, they did a good job. It doesn't look too terribly long. Yeah, it's about 300 pages, exactly 300 pages after endnotes. So that's not a terribly big book. Really looking forward to it. By the way, I want to thank all the people who gifted these for my birthday. You know who you are. I read this in the wrong order. I had read, I think it's called The New Silk Roads by Peter Frankopan, and this was his precursor to that book. I really liked the other one, sort of a reddish orange cover, and he talks mainly focusing on Sino-American relations coming into the modern age, and the kind of development that they've been doing, and sort of presenting an alternative to Western imperialism, which is good in some ways, but I think we have a long ways to go before China really represents a challenge in that direction. But we've been living in a unipolar foreign relations picture. Coming out of the Cold War, the United States stood alone as the dominant hegemon on the world stage, and they've done some good things with the UN. It's there's no denying that there has been progress in a lot of ways. There's also been catastrophic failures and just devastatingly immoral actions on the part of generally neoconservatives. Although, especially in recent years, we're seeing that more of just an American exceptionalist neoliberalism that is really threatening from both sides of the spectrum. It's generally been right wingers that have been most damaging. But under Biden, we especially with Israel and flaring up tensions in the Middle East lately, and the warmongering surrounding Russia and their brutal attack of Ukraine. Not saying that the world should have done nothing about that. I'm saying it's been this terrible and misguided, failed application of international law, contrasting that, which any right-minded person would side with Ukraine, with what Israel is doing to Palestine. Any right-minded person should side with Palestine, but the narrative gets completely flipped when it's the states. Anybody who gets in the way of what the states is doing at any given time is, as a matter of definition, in contravention of the peace process. So anyway, that's a long discussion about the Silk Roads. This is more of a history on the East, a new history of the world. That's the subtitle, and it focuses mainly on the trade routes, the advancements that the Eastern world had done, which as history goes is not the story that gets told the most. You hear about how the West industrialized the world, and we owe all these wonderful things to them. But the East has done quite a lot. They've been around a little longer too. So that's really interesting to me, and I'm kind of basing my judgment on this book from the newer book, which was called The New Silk Roads by the same author. So I'm looking forward to it. And then we get into some Brave Beaver type stories. Short history of Canada. I'm Canadian, so I'm trying to broaden my understanding of Canada. I tend to go towards American politics, and it's not a terribly big book from what I can see. These are all around 400 pages, it seems. This is after the end. Oh, there are no end notes. Yeah, after the acknowledgement, it's 405 pages. I think this was published in 2017, so it's been around for a little while. And yeah, I think it's just, kind of the high points and the low points of our history, which is certainly worth it for me to know a little bit about. But I think another one that I'm looking forward to most, Assad, or We Burn the Country. It's written by Sam Dagher or Dagher. I think it's Sam Dagher. How one family's lust for power destroyed Syria. It's a little bigger. I think you're coming up on 536 pages after the end notes. And the end notes don't take up too huge of portions, so you got about that much of actual reading. And when was this published? 2019, so it's a few years old already. And I know a fair amount about this story, like the Arab Spring and Assad's reaction to it, and Russia and Turkey's and Syria's just internecine conflict, this really, really bitter, and how it, the country, Damascus and Aleppo especially used to be the jewel of the Arab world, and it's just mortared to hell. It's just disgusting. And barrel bombs are the main use over there of the weapon of choice. My main base of knowledge happens basically after the burning in Tahrir Square there, and the rise of the Arab Spring, and then moving into what Syria's reaction was after the gas attacks, all that, and then several years of civil war. I think my knowledge sort of runs out around 2016 or something, 2014 to 2016, somewhere in there. And a lot of my knowledge, although not nearly most of it, was from a book called it was written by Francesca Borai, an Italian lawyer, I think, who is a journalist. And she wrote a book called, it was called Syrian Dust. And that was really heartrending. Her English wasn't terribly great, but man, did she ever paint a picture, and what an incredible woman, what she had been through, and how she how she captured that story. She was right in there. We're not talking about on the outskirts where they allowed the journalists. I mean, she was as embedded in a journalist as you get, and I don't think she got a whole lot of support either, like external support. You talk about how she was charging her iPhone with lemons and the whole nine yards, ducking under, vehicles and burning buildings just to avoid mortars and barrel bombs. So I have a really keen interest in this, and I'm fascinated to see what Sam Dagher has to report. Now it says here that he had reported in the Middle East for more than 15 years, including for the Wall Street Journal and New York Times, and has covered the Iraq War and Arab Spring uprising. So I mean, this guy, he seems to have had like quite a bit of experience. So I'm really looking forward to his reportage of this. Anyway, that's my list that I have so far. That's my book haul. Again, thanks to those, you know who you are, who bought these for me, and I look forward to devouring them. I think I'm going to read most of them in the following months. I'll read our Hidden Conversations for Black History, and then, you know, I want to focus mainly on that, and then in the following months get into the others. Have you guys been on any book hauls? I'd love to hear what you've gotten recently and what you intend to read in the next few weeks. Tell me in the comments, and we'll see you down there. Thanks for stopping by. Hey everyone, I hope you liked this video. If you want more like the one you just watched, click the suggested video on this screen. Make sure you subscribe, and to connect with me on my other platforms, my handles are linked below in the description, alright? Take care, peeps. Till next time.